now, baby, we are right back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition of Before You Bet, airing right here on the Covers YouTube channel. Make sure you smash that like and that subscribe button right down there. So coming off of a very profitable show on Friday, so we're going to try to carry the winning ways into today and into this week with our best bets for the NBA and for Major League Baseball. If you're looking for best bets for tonight's college basketball national championship game, we got a video up right now in the video section here on the Covers YouTube channel, so you can check that out. The guys have been on fire throughout the tournament. Let me bring in my co-host for today, my partner, John Metler. John, how was your weekend?
It was good. Yeah, a good Friday there for the show. SGA went under. I think Malik Monk was our loser, but Kerry Carpenter hit home run, and then we actually had a big home run parlay too. That was pretty fun. It was hilarious. I guess we can talk about it later because it got a similar bet today.
Crushing it. Okay, let's get right into the action here. Only 2 games in the NBA. A light night with the national championship game in college basketball. I got 2 bets though, so you know it's a light night in the NBA if I'm giving out a rebounding prop, but I think we got a really good spot here. We're going to take Sabonis to go over his rebounding number of 12.5. So yes, you might say, really, Joe? It's the second game of a back-to-back. That is true, but this is a Kings team that can't afford to take its foot off the gas. They still haven't clinched a play-in spot. They have a head-to-head with Phoenix to close out the season as well. So here's the thing. Maybe it's all coincidental. Maybe it's not. Generally, he is a really good rebounder, but specifically in this spot, the second game of back-to-backs. He's averaging 16.5 rebounds in the second game of back-to-backs this season. He's played in 11 of them, so decent sample size. He's also averaging 14.1 rebounds per game on the road. Now, the other part of this, the Detroit Pistons, the Pistons, are a team that allows a lot of rebounds. Over the last 5 games in particular, they're allowing the second most rebounds per game. Detroit shooting ice cold. They're 30th in the NBA in effective field goal shooting percentage over the last 5 games. Kings a little bit better at 20th. But the point is, potential for a real bricklaying contest tonight in Detroit. Detroit's top rebounder, Jalen Duren, also questionable to play in this one. But even if he does play, I do like Sabonis to go over this number of 12.5. You have a prop that you like for this game as well, John.
Yeah, I go Malik Beasley over 15.5 points here for the Pistons. So you highlighted Jalen Duren is questionable. Tobias Harris is questionable. I think those 2 injuries both matter. I think if both those guys are out, I think you have a really, really strong edge here on Malik Beasley. If they're both in, it's probably closer to like fair value. Like 15.5 is probably where it should be trading. So you still have like a slight edge, but nothing like if these guys are out. You just have to adjust his minutes. If Tobias Harris and Jalen Duren are out or versus they're in, that's going to really change his minutes here to whether or not we have a massive edge or it's just kind of closer to fair value. So I think that's worth noting here. In terms of the matchup, you really like the matchup for Malik Beasley because it's the Sacramento Kings and you're a shooter and you kind of depend on your teammates to like kind of get in the lane, generate shots for you, get open looks for you. And that's something they'll be able to do against the Sacramento Kings defense. Their deep perimeter defense, like Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, they're not really great defenders. So the Pistons should be able to generate shots for him. It's also another game where, Malik Beasley is a shooter. He's not someone who typically drives, but even once again, like I was saying, that perimeter defense of the Kings is not strong. So this is a game where he could mix in more 2s than he typically does because he usually has a lot of 3s. He hasn't, I think he just went under last game. His last like 4 or 5 games here with a couple of the guys in and out of the lineup for the Pistons, he's like double-digit 3-pointers every game. So you love that while he's shooting the ball a ton. I'm going to go over 15.5 from Malik Beasley.
Okay, next up we go down to Miami, the 76ers in 10. You got to find a way to fade the 76ers. We'll do exactly that by taking the Heat to cover the first half spread. -8.5. Kind of steep for a first half, but hear me out here. So Miami, let's get into a couple of trends first. 8-2 ATS in their last 10 first halves at home. Philly 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 first halves on the road, regardless of location. Let's get into the stats over the last 10 games. Net rating, first for the Miami Heat, dead last for the Philadelphia 76ers. An enormous gap on the defensive end, specific to the first half over the last 10 games. Philly is allowing 12.1 more points per game. The game situation, it's a desperate spot for Miami. They were red hot. They're still playing well, but they're coming off of 2 consecutive close losses. They're off tomorrow. They were off yesterday. Expect them to come out absolutely gunning and beat up on the 76ers. They'll probably cover the full game spread as well, but I like that first half number better in case they're up. they take their foot off the gas maybe late in the game. We shall see. Okay, over to Major League Baseball we go here. John's going to try to hit another home run prop for us. I have a couple bets myself. Let's start things off in the nation's capital. We're going to be back in the Los Angeles Dodgers to go over their team total over 4.5 runs. Minus 104. Absolutely love it. So Mackenzie Gore on the bump here for the Nats. He crashed back to earth after a strong season debut. He followed that up by allowing 9 hits, 11 total base runners, and 5 innings of work against the Blue Jays. The Dodgers hitters have had success against him as well. In 45 combined at-bats, Dodgers hitters have an OPS of 1,015. He's backed by what's been an awful bullpen as well. So hopefully the Dodgers can get a couple across against him, and then they should be able to beat up on this bullpen that ranks 28th in ERA, 646 so far this season, 29th in FIP. Dodgers coming off a loss. They were undefeated going into Philadelphia into that weekend series. They end up going 1-2 against the Phillies, so perhaps a little bit more of urgency. LA 7th in OPS to open the season, and perhaps due for a little bit of luck here, they come in at 28th in batting average in balls in play, batting average in balls in play, and despite that, they're still 7th in OPS, so expect that number to go up. Expect them to score 5 or more runs against the Nationals. Okay, John, let's go Yard. What do you have for a home run prop today?
Yeah, it feels like a homer play just because of the Tiger, but they're actually just showing really good value, and there's really good, well, I wouldn't say really good weather. It's good weather for this time of the year. We're going to go Spencer Torkelson to hit home run, plus 560. Projections kind of had this closer to plus 350, so you obviously always love that when the projections are in your favor. What I was saying about the weather at Comerica Park, it's not warm out. It is sunny here in Detroit today, but it's not that warm. They actually moved the game from, I think it's supposed to be 640. They moved it up to 310 because it's going to be cold. But the wind is blowing out to left field at 19 miles per hour. That's not normal for Comerica Park, and that would be the pull side for Torkelson. And he's facing Carlos Rodon, who gave up 31 home runs last year and 28 to right-handed batters. So, and Torkelson does hit lefties a little bit better. So the splits are really there. You have the wind. It's helping him to the pull side against Rodon, who gives up homers to righties. And Torkelson's he's having a really good start to his year. He has a couple home runs. Yesterday, he walked it off for the Tigers with a hit. So I feel like baseball is a very momentum sport. And when someone's swinging a hot bat, I think you got to ride them. And I think plus 560 is a good price for Torkelson. So I'm going to bet him to hit homer.
Okay, another hitting prop, not quite as juicy, but everyone's favorite player, Jose Altuve. We all love this guy, right? Well, not really. We're going to take him to go over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I like the odds on this one, plus 120. So you might be thinking, really? Against Logan Gilbert? He's a pretty good pitcher. Well, he is, but Altuve's had his number here, 11 for 33 against him with a 965 OPS. In his career, Altuve, the Astros as a whole, not off to a good start offensively, but Altuve is. He has a 359 average with a 903 OPS, and specific to this number, 1.5. He's gone over it in 7 of his 9 games played so far this season. So we'll back Altuve there at plus money in Seattle. Okay, John, no SGP for the NBA. Options are kind of limited there tonight with just the 2 games, but you have something cooked up on the diamond. What do you got?
Yeah, the NBA was tough for 2 games. And the 76ers, like Tyler Hero's questionable, a couple questionable guys in. And then also that 76ers Heat game, no doubt, we're talking about this before, was supposed to be Jimmy Butler versus Embiid, kind of like a rivalry right before the national championship. And it's Quentin Grimes against the Miami Heat. So, but we're going Tigers, Yankees, SGP. So I actually hit one on Friday. It was Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter. It's about 66-1. Can we do it again? Maybe. So I like Torkelson. Obviously, I heard you heard the breakdown there. Justin Henry Malloy is kind of like a platoon player for the Tigers. He's their right-handed bat. Again, really good against lefties. So like I was saying with Rodon, that matchup really plays. Rodon struggles against right-handed batters. He gives up a ton of home runs to right-handed batters. Henry Malloy isn't necessarily a power hitter, but I feel like the matchup is really strong, and like his price was like plus 630. Like I said, the wind, same thing, is helping him out. It's going out to left field, 19 miles per hour. One thing I do really like when I'm betting home run props is not necessarily like someone has a bunch of homers in a row, but like even just like quality at bats. Henry Malloy, his last 4 or 5 games, he has I don't know the exact number of time. It's 8 walks. I feel like walks always stand out to me because it means you're really, really seeing the ball. So you might have not connected for a home run yet, but obviously he's really seeing the ball right now. So I'm going to pair those 2 guys together. The Tigers over 1.5 total runs is just like a fake leg. It's just to get to 3 legs. Because once again, at many sports books, you need 3 legs to get a boost. And people always ask for like, hey, what's the 3rd leg I could possibly use? So I just put that in there. If you need 3 legs for a boost, go. That's, I mean, obviously you'll get 2 runs, because if we get 2 home runs, we'll get 2 runs. So it's kind of a fake leg. But if you just want the 2 home runs, it's the bet on the 2 home run guys. So plus 37 to 1.
Okay, there you have it. Our best bets for Monday. And like I said, if you're looking for a best bet for the national championship game, there's a video up here on the Covers YouTube channel in the video section. So a couple news stories to kick around. Woke up this morning, the Blue Jays, they came to an agreement with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think a good deal for both sides. Yes, did the Jays overpay a little bit? Probably. I think that's fair to say, but they're one of these teams that has to. Because we've seen what's happened with them trying to sign superstars in free agency. It has not worked out very well. Vladdy Jr., this is a guy who never gets injured. A bit up and down in terms of his production. He's, to be completely fair, he stunk in the playoffs, but still just 26 years old. He's been a part of the organization forever. He's had a couple of really good seasons as well. A good guy in the community, someone you can market around and sell jerseys and all that stuff. So good news for Blue Jays fans who would have absolutely revolted had Vladdy left the team. So hopefully, that's not something you want to drag out throughout the season. Over to the NBA, though. So
Can I touch on the Vladdy thing before you move on?
Yeah, go for it. How about it?
I actually don't think it's a good deal for the Blue Jays. I know the fans want it. I know you want to keep him. Just as a Tigers fan, when we re-signed Miguel Cabrera, those back end of that contract was so awful. And it's not even the money. It's the fact that we have a designated hitter, which I'm assuming that's where Vladdy will eventually go into. Like, you have a designated hitter who's like 37, 38, 39, who can't hit. So like, it's just like a complete hole in your lineup. It's not even the money. It's the years. And when I saw the 514, I was like, God, I wonder if there was like I'd rather pay way more money per year and get that like shorter, like, can we get like a 5-year 253, like, you know what I mean? Still give them like a huge chunk of money, but we don't really want you when you're 38, 39, 40. So I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy he's staying. I always like when teams spend money. He, like you say, he's going to sell jerseys. He's a fan favorite. He'll probably get a statue or something because he's going to be there forever, but that's going to look really bad at the end. It always does. So that's kind of tough.
Yeah, too many statues going out these days, in my opinion. But yeah, it's one of these things. This is like, baseball players aren't signing these. If you're a superstar, I think it was reported that the Dodgers actually offered Bryce Harper like a 3-year deal for something insane, like per year. This was back when he was a free agent going to sign with the Phillies. And he's just like, no, I want the 14, 15-year deal. I want that job security for life. So it is what it is. It's not my money. I think if he leaves, it also signals that the Jays are maybe going into a rebuild type of thing too. That's a team that's got to sell tickets, right? So over to the NBA. So I'm looking forward yesterday to sitting down and watching the Thunder and the Lakers play. Wasn't much of a game. It was a belt to ass performance, wire to wire smackdown for the Lakers in Oklahoma City, not the Thunder. So Lakers destroyed them by 27. They outscored them in every single quarter in that game. Luka played well. Bronny came in at the end and hit a big 3. Very excited there. His odds to win Rookie of the Year. Make sure you check them out. But what do you think here, John? Is that something or nothing? I kind of threw it out there yesterday on Twitter, and people are like, OKC is just kind of taking her easy at this point of the season. They got everything locked up. Something or nothing, that smackdown by the Lakers yesterday.
It's kind of scary. That numbers kind of been floating around Twitter where you've seen, and I tweeted 102 where it's like they're 9-9 against like the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Warriors, basically all the top teams in the West. So they've kind of, I think they're like 28-1 against the Eastern Conference. I know they just have an insane record against the Eastern Conference. So they're picking off they're winning every game they technically should, but they're not necessarily beating the top teams. That is scary. I mean, they've also had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, so I don't know if that's fair to judge them on that. I know one of the teams people kept throwing around was the Mavericks. I took them out when I tweeted that out because those games were with Luka on the Mavericks. I don't think that's fair to kind of compare them there. The Lakers, I'll flip it more to the Lakers than the Thunder, because to me the Lakers look like the most prepared team, like on a scout for a team. Like almost every time they take the floor, they seem to really adapt and like lock into a game plan that fits who they're facing. And I think that makes them like a very scary like playoff team, because if you put them in a playoff series where they're scouting one team and they're playing a specific style to like burn that team. It feels like the coaching and like the buy-in, like you look yesterday, the thing with SGA is he shoots a lot of free throws. And yesterday he shot none, absolutely none. They did not foul him on anything. He shot 0 free throws. And you look at some of the plays when they're guarding him, and it was like purely coached in the game plan. Do not contest him to the point where you might get caught fouling him. They're just make him make shots. And I saw one video, it was kind of circling on X, like Hachimura got to a point like he's moving around, and he looks like he's going to contest, but he's probably going to end up with a foul. And he literally just put his hands down and stopped. Then SGA passed the ball. And like, that's like coaching. That's game plan. I think the Lakers are, man, they are looking really, really scary with like a Luka, LeBron, and like that's trio, Austin Reeves too, and JJ Redick, the four of them. They just always seem like they have a really good game plan. They execute it. So the Thunder, I think the Thunder still top to bottom, the best team in the West, but yeah, they might not run away with it like people think they will.
Yeah, I do wonder if SGA turns into James Harden in the playoffs. You know, if when you're in a game 6 and 7 situation, do they have another guy or a couple other guys who will step up? And I guess for a lot of people, myself included, you don't truly believe in a team until you see them get over the hump and actually do it, right? We've seen LeBron obviously do it in the playoffs. We saw Luka bring the Mavs to the NBA Finals last year. So you have the Thunder. Just a quick look at the West odds board. The NBA playoffs are going to be an absolute blast, by the way. So the Thunder minus 125. The Warriors, second best odds to win the West, plus 550. Big wins for them recently against the Lakers and then against the Nuggets the next night. Lakers plus 650. The Nugs 8-1. T-Wolves 20-1. Clippers 20-1. The Houston Rockets, who no one is taking seriously, 25-1, despite being second place in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the East, not really as much fun. Kind of seems like a two-team race. The the Knicks don't have the same buzz as last year. We kicked them around earlier. The Milwaukee Bucks, I don't think so, man. I don't think it's going to happen. No, maybe they do win one playoff series. They don't have the depth. Doc Rivers,
The West is like, you just named all those teams. We could literally sit here and make a case for any of those teams to win the Western Conference like right now. Like every single team that you listed has a chance. Like there's not a weak team in that like top 8. Like that's the thing too, is like that first round playoff series, whoever the Thunder, it's not going to be easy. And like that, even like if you're the 2 seed, the Rocket, like none of those first round series in the West are going to be easy for anyone. So the Eastern Conference is way different. Like that's the path is so much easier for like a Celtics or the Cavaliers or something like that. It's not really even until you get to the Eastern Conference Finals that it should be Celtics Cavs, and it's not really even until then you get tested. But the West is going to be crazy. It's going to be a really good TV though.
Yeah, the Celtics will win the East, and I think they're going to get a nice break potentially playing whoever comes out of the West, because the West is just going to beat the shit out of each other, a bunch of 6 and 7 game series. Meanwhile, the Celtics might be coming off of a couple sweeps, a couple 5 game series. Maybe they go to 6 in these finals. So yeah, can't wait for the NBA playoffs. It will be an absolute blast. Okay, to recap the picks from today, I like Sabonis to go over his rebounding total of 12.5. The Heat first half minus 8.5. Dodgers team total over 4.5, and Altuve over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. John, what do you have?
I got Malik Beasley over 15.5 points. Spencer Torkelson to hit a home run plus 560, and the parlay is Torkelson to hit a home run, Justin Henry Malloy to hit a home run, and then Tigers over 1.5 runs.
Okay, that's it for today's show. Massive week in sports and sports betting, though. National championship game tonight. We got the Masters starting on Thursday. We got a big UFC event going down in Miami on Saturday, and we'll be covering it all here on the Covers YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.